welcome to this podcast for radiation physics at Wenatchee Valley College in Wenatchee, Washington. I am Todd Bussey, your instructor, and I hope you find this podcast and all the other podcasts for this class helpful. This podcast, I will be discussing adding and subtracting fractions. So let's look at the first example. This first example has 2/7 plus 3/7. When we add fractions, we have to remember that we need to have common denominators. And in this case, we do have common denominators of 7. So once we have common denominators, we add the numerators, the tops together. So we're going to have 2 plus 3. And 2 plus 3 equals 5. So on top of the fraction, the numerator will be 5, the denominator will be 7, so our answer is going to be 5/7. We do want to look to see if we can reduce this fraction to lowest terms, or if it is already in lowest terms, we leave it alone. In this case, it is in lowest terms, so we leave it alone. The next example we're going to look at is 2/5 plus 4/3. In this case, we do not have common denominators, so we have to multiply by a special 1 to get common denominators. So it looks like between 3 and 5, our common denominator is going to be 15. For the first fraction, we have to multiply the bottom by 3 to get 15, so whatever we do to the bottom, we also have to do to the top. So we're going to multiply 2/5 by 3 over 3. 3 over 3 reduces to 1, so that's by when we multiply by 1, we do not change the number, we just change the form of the number. For the second one, 4/3, we have to multiply by 5 over 5. So once we do that, we're going to get 6/15 plus 20/15. When we add the fractions together, we're going to get 6 plus 20, which is 26, over our common denominator of 15. We get 26/15. That is reduced to lowest terms, so we do not have to reduce it anymore. Now we are going to change and look at some subtraction. The first example that we're going to look at is 4/9 minus 2/9. In this case, we still have common denominators, 9, so we don't have to worry about changing those. So when we're subtracting, we do the same thing as we do for addition, except we're going to subtract the numerators. And so in this case, we're going to have 4 minus 2. And 4 minus 2 is 2, so we're going to have 2 for our numerator, and we still will have 9 for our denominator. So our final answer will be 2/9. In our last example on addition and subtraction of fractions, we're going to have 8/9 minus 1/3. In this case, we need to find common denominators, and luckily in this case, 9 is our common denominator, so the first fraction, 8/9, we're going to leave alone. The second fraction, 1/3, we have to multiply by our special 1 again, in this case 3 over 3. And when we do that, we're going to get 8/9 minus 3/9. We're going to subtract the numerators again, the tops, and we're going to get 8 minus 3, which equals 5. And so our answer will be 5/9. It is in lowest terms, so we do not have to reduce. And that is the end of this podcast on adding and subtracting fractions. Thank you.